Hi, it's Ann from Ann's Running Commentary. I'm coming to you today because, to be quite honest, somebody has frosted my cookies, as my father-in-law says. I'm actually aggravated. Not Chris Russell did it, but it's not his fault. I love Chris Russell from Run, Run, Live. He posted a quote earlier, and he said, "Failure should be our teacher, not our undertaker." And I responded back, and I said, I'm so glad. I love that quote. I said, I love that I've put my kids in youth sports, that we've gotten them involved in youth sports, because they have learned through youth sports that failing is okay. You learn from your mistakes. They've learned this through some great teams, and I really, I am so thankful for that. But Chris emailed back and he said to me, well, all I learned from youth sports was that I sucked. And I thought, well, wait a second. Guess what? That's what I learned too. And that's what frosted my cookies. I thought about how long I spent, how many years of my life I spent thinking, I'm not athletic because, I can't do a layup. I got a C in gym because I couldn't do a layup. I sit on the bench during softball, and I'm not the fastest runner, and I'm not built to be a runner. I'm not built to be an athlete. I'm not tall. I don't have long legs. I'm not thin. I don't have any of that, so I must be a failure. Because that's what coaches told me as I was growing up. I wasn't the best on the team, so I was the worst. And I wasn't the worst. And even if I was, who cares? Because youth sports are meant to teach us life lessons. They're not meant to make us a great athlete. I mean, some people will come out of it. That's great. You're going to have some athletes come out of it, and they'll be true athletes. But youth sports are meant to teach us to deal with failure and to move on and to learn from those failures. And this seems off topic because I usually talk about running. And I could relate it to running. I really could. But the truth is, I want to relate it to my children because I think this is so important. I want my children, I put them in youth sports because I want them to grow up athletic. I want them to grow up to be able to continue to run, to be able to stay active their whole lives. And I want them to do that because I think it makes their lives better. But there are youth coaches out there who are ruining kids, and that infuriates me. If you are coaching a team, my bet is that you're not some great coach. You're not, Coach K from Duke. You're not Dean Smith. You're not some great coach. You're just a mom or a dad, and your only responsibility to those kids. It is not about winning. It is not about getting them to the NBA. It is not about getting them into Major League Soccer. It is about teaching them life lessons, and that's really. It makes me so angry. I want you to understand that these are our children, and we don't put them in sports because we want them to be the best athlete. We put them in sports because we want them to learn life lessons, and we want them to learn these life lessons that they can use not just in sports, but in the rest of their life, in business, in parenting, in everything they do. So, I know it's off topic, but it really is. And when you think about it, when you think about the fact that it took me 30 years to become an athlete. It took me I was 43 before I did my Ironman, which was something I had wanted to do since I was 13 years old. And part of that was because I had been told all my life that I wasn't athletic. Well, guess what? You don't have to be athletic to do the things you want to do. You just have to want to do them, and you have to be able to get over failure and understand that failure happens. All right. Sorry, I don't usually rant, but that one just made me mad when Chris said that, and I realized, yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I spent my whole life thinking I was a failure, and I wasn't a failure. I could have learned from those mistakes. Those coaches could have not worried about the score, could have not worried about whether I was going to be the greatest athlete or not, and they could have thought, well, what can she learn from this today? So if you're a youth coach, I'm asking you, please, please, please remember that these are life lessons. Teach them right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.